Good morning. You are listening to the Home Based Business Success Podcast here on Hermetic Temple Radio. And good morning to everybody. This is Ralph with the Home Based Business Success Podcast. Coming on live a little late today. We had some trouble getting online. Weird stuff happening. I don't know what's going on, but we're live now and we're just going to roll with the punches. And hey, in anything in life, especially home-based business, online business, life in general here in the 21st century, gotta learn to just roll with the punches and deal with things as they come sometimes. And that's what we're doing today. Today we're going to be talking about a question that comes up rather frequently in home-based business and the earn-at-home area. How fast can I grow my business? And this is a relative question. I mean, it depends on so many different factors. You've got people that are on the fast track, the fast line. You know, they think that everybody should be able to be killing it in 6 months. Matter of fact, I talked to one guy online. I forget what opportunity he was in, but I mean, he was saying that, look, if you're not earning 6 figures in 6 months, then you're doing something wrong. And I mean, yeah, I agree with him there. Yeah, if you're not earning 6 figures in 6 months, yeah, you're doing something wrong. The problem is, I mean, what is the problem? Why is it that so many people aren't doing 6 figures in 6 months? I know I certainly am not. I started out on the slow lane, and I've been slowly building as I go. I've finally gotten into one opportunity and getting serious about one opportunity that I think will grow into 6 figures. I'm not sure if it's going to take me 6 months to do it in or 12 months, but quite frankly, as long as I get there, I'm fine. I'm not really one to be, looking at a stopwatch and saying I got to do this by a certain time. I go for steady growth, 1 day's growth in 1 day's time period, and as long as I'm moving forward, I'm happy. So, yeah, maybe I'm not the most aggressive entrepreneur, but I do like to pride myself as being upfront, honest, and just letting people know, okay, this is how I see it, and these are the facts as I see them, and just shoot straight. And there are other people on the opposite side of the fence, on the opposite extreme, who have taken, 2, 3 years to build up a solid 5-figure income. So, and that's my camp right there. It took me a long time, but when I first got started in home-based business, the odds were not with me. In fact, I would say the odds were very much against my wife and I. We were in terrible financial condition when we first decided to get into home-based business and doing it, aggressively, getting serious about it. And we didn't have many financial resources. Our car was on the verge of just giving up totally. We had family problems, family health problems that were against us, and we just had a lot to navigate, a lot of negative stuff to navigate. And we did. I mean, we navigated that. We solved, we met the problems. We solved the problems. We got on with it. We triumphed. I think we triumphed. I mean, we've got a good 5-figure income, and now my goal is to work it into a solid 6-figure income. And if it takes me 6 months or 12 months to do it, I'll be happy either way. If it takes a little longer than 12 months, I might get a little antsy because this has been my goal for a while now. Been trying to figure it out, been making steady steps towards that goal, and I think this is going to be the year that we do it, no matter what goes on in Washington, no matter what goes on in the other part of the world. That's my resolve. We're going to make it happen this year. So, but in the beginning, we had a lot going against us. And it took us a while to overcome those hurdles and to finally get to the point where we are today. Now, other people that do not have, financial problems, maybe you're not on the verge of homelessness like we were at one point in our history. Maybe you've got a good income that you can dedicate to using to build up your home-based business. That's one factor right there, is how fast you can grow your business. A good factor is how much money, how much startup capital do you have to put into your business. And this is a biggie. Because if you've got, let's say, $3,000 to $5,000 to use with which to buy into a good, solid business opportunity, a good, solid business opportunity. Do your due diligence, do your research, make sure the company is long-term, that it's got a solid history, and that it is a good deal. But if you've got let's say $3,000 to $5,000 to use startup capital just to buy your way into your own business, and then about another, let's say, $500 a month that you can use to promote your business, and you can dedicate yourself to this business for at least a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, then I would say that you are on a good financial footing to be knocking it out of the ballpark, depending on your work ethic, depending on how skilled you are in the business itself, depending on how fast you are to learn the business. Because some of these opportunities that are out there is a learning curve. And I know I've stated this before, perhaps ad nauseum, but you've got to be willing to learn, you've got to have the ability to learn, and you got to have the time to put into it. And then once you learn the ropes, once you figure things out, and you start to implement what you learn, and you show up consistently for work. A lot of people think that when they own their own business, they can just work whenever they feel like it. You've got to be consistent in your approach. And if you got all that going for you, then you can probably knock it out of the park in short order. But again, like we always say, results are not typical. Your results will vary. In the end, being an entrepreneur, there is no guarantee that you will earn any money. Being an entrepreneur means taking risks, means accepting risks, and like we've seen in 2020, and in this first week of 2021, the world can be a freaking crazy place, people. I mean, my God, the stuff that's going down. Who would have believed that the past 12 months would be anything like this? I mean, we used to have a saying when I was growing up, stop the world. I want to get off. And 2020, we did. We stopped the world. Insane. But this past year, we've done a good job of managing that insanity. And we've made strides forward in our business, even during 2020, the year from hell. And I look forward to doing the same in 2021, regardless of what the powers that be or the powers that want to be. Despite what these powers throw at us, I intend to succeed and to prosper. That is my resolve. And I'm not saying that in the materialistic way. I mean, I want to prosper to better myself, to better my family, to better my community, because that's how I see being an entrepreneur. Taking risks, managing risks, so that I can bring something of value to the world. Not just be a taker, but be a giver. And that's why I've just set my resolve to succeed this year. I've seen what we've done in 2020, and I've learned my lessons from that experience. And yes, we have made mistakes. But going forward, I resolve to learn from those mistakes and to go even further in all of our home-based businesses. But I mean, that's just the mindset that you have to have. And if you're easily freaked out, something weird happens in the world and you just get that feeling like a deer in the headlights, where you're just so overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, you don't feel like moving forward, you don't have that level of confidence. And I've been there. I mean, good Lord. 2020 has been one of those years. There have been some projects I was thinking about moving forward on, and then I had to ask myself, is this the right time? And I mean, I slowed up, I stopped. We got the podcast thing going again, but and I think that was a good move. Obviously, I think that was a very good move. But, some people can, during times of stress especially, times of universal stress, where we have a global pandemic, where we have shutdowns, where we have lockdowns, where we're treating our civilian population like a prison population, understandably, a lot of people freak out, and they don't know what to do. And instead of moving forward as best they can, they stop. They think they have no choice but to stop. And when you take a good look at what's happening around you, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff, and you take a good hard look at where you're at and what you have at your disposal and what you can and what you cannot do, you can get a fairly good idea of what opportunities are still out there and how you can move forward even in the present environment. You can figure out how you can move forward with a certain level of confidence. So a lot of it is mindset. Not everybody has a positive mindset. Not everybody can maintain a positive mindset on a day-to-day basis. But if you're good at handling stress, if you're good at handling a changing environment, if you have the resources, the startup capital to put into your own business, then you can learn to take a look at the odds, take a look at the risks, manage the risks well, and move forward. But it's going to be different for many different people. Some folks will figure this out in like 6 months. Yeah, that is definitely possible. It took me a great many years, actually. I had the desire to be a home-based business owner. Oh, probably since the age of about 25. I got tired of working for other people, wanted to be able to work for myself, get my own business going, but we're talking about pre-internet age. And I just couldn't figure out a way to do it. And I just took a look at the risks, and at that point in my life, I just figured it was less risky for me to work for another person, which I hated, than it was to work for myself, which is something I wanted to do. And then finally, 2007, my wife and I decided we had to get serious about this, and we started building up, getting some ideas for a home-based business, and then we started building up a couple ideas. And then by 2011, we pulled the trigger on a couple good business ideas, and within a few months, we were making it work. But it took us a while to get to that point. Now, other people that already have a lot of the knowledge about how to start a business, you may have a program that you're learning with, that you're building with. You may have a good educational program that's teaching you, and you may have all kinds of confidence and just the right mindset to really use to succeed with. And if you got all that going for you, then you can move ahead a lot faster. But this is a very, very relative term. So my first recommendation would be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. And I'm going to give two stories coming up in the second part of this podcast, showcasing two people that I know. And I won't name any names. I just don't think it's proper for me to be naming names, but we'll just call them, Entrepreneur 1 and Entrepreneur 2. One was on the slow track, one was on the fast track. And we'll learn from their example and see two extremes. One guy that succeeded in home-based business, giving himself 2 or 3 years to work with, and the other guy that worked his way out of an incredible level of debt, and he did it all within a few months. So two extremes, but we can learn from those two extremes. And wherever you are right now, it may be at one end, one extreme, or it may be at the other extreme, or you may be somewhere in the middle. But what we can do is we can learn from our own stories, we can learn from other people's stories, and we can use that information to progress with, to step forward with, to take into the world around us and use to the best of our ability and advance for our good, the good of our family, and the good of our communities, wherever you may happen to be. And I think if you're getting into the home-based business industry with an attitude that you want to not just be a taker, but also be a giver, wanting to give back to your local community, then you can use that as rocket fuel to really get going. If you're a good person with a good heart, a good brain, a good attitude, and a good program to work with, some good resources to work with, then I think you can go far. But again, results are not typical. We got to look for the sunshine in everything, step forward as best we can. Going to play a little song here. We'll be back right after this.
Sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, it will be a brand new day. my heart won't hurt so bad. Blue skies will chase the rain away. I long to not feel so sad. Just skip and jump on my way. Sure as the moonlight glows so brightly, I'll be feeling fine, I know. I can see that silver lining. It's getting clearer every day. Dark clouds are disappearing. Now I'm sure that I'll be on my way. Time heals all wounds, they say. I think that saying must be true. Just live one day at a time. Your soul will guide you through and through. Sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, I'll look for that sunshiny day. Time heals all wounds, they say. I think that saying must be true. Just live one day at a time. Your soul will guide you through and through. Sure as the sun will rise tomorrow, I'll look for that sunshiny day. Yes, I'll look for that sunshiny day.
All right, this is Ralph back again, and hey, if you want to check me out online, I think I forgot to say this in the first half of our podcast. My goodness, I'm slipping here today. But yeah, if you want to find me online, maybe see what opportunities I am in, maybe partner with me in something, you can find me at www.growwithralph.com, and the opportunities that I list in that website, they are opportunities that I am in, that I promote because I believe in them. I'm not the kind of entrepreneur that just pushes anything because I think I can make a quick buck. No, these are quality programs that are working for me, that I have used for a few years, and I recommend them, wholeheartedly. But again, these opportunities may or may not be for you. Results are not typical. Take a good hard look at anything before you jump in, and make sure that it's right for you and you're right for it, because, some of these things, they may fit one, may not fit another. It's kind of like your underwear. What works for me may not work for you, so just keep that in mind. Now, on with our program. How fast, or how slow, can you build your home-based business? And to kind of illustrate two extremes, I'm going to use two real-life entrepreneurs, one that we'll call Ron because that's his name, and the other James, and we'll call him James because that's his name. And Ron is the first guy, and he started out with the odds against him. He got out of the military. He was a U.S. Marine, and he got into a bad row of luck. He had problems, home problems, got into a divorce with his wife after leaving the Marine Corps, and worked his way into just an insane level of debt. I think it was about, the story he tells, about $90,000 worth of debt. And he had a job, but I mean, it wasn't enough to pay that level of debt. So what he did is that he just entered into his own home-based businesses with the attitude that I gotta make this work. I have to make this work, and failure is not an option. And what he did is that he got into a few different opportunities, and he kind of stair-stepped his way forward. He used some kind of low-budget opportunities that he could get into for $25 one-time fee, something like that, and something that he could market using another program that was something that he could use to both advertise with and also earn a little bit of money with. Some cryptocurrency type websites out there that let you post, talk about your business, and then when people engage with that post, they pay you with a little bit of cryptocurrency. He was into stuff like that, and he just learned how to advertise his opportunities, and he was able to progress forward. But what he did is that when he started making money in one area, he didn't just take that money and eat it. He had a full-time job. He was working the full-time job on a full-time basis, and then when he got home, he'd work his part-time home-based businesses part-time. And I mean, this guy was just a powerhouse. I mean, he was entering into home-based business with the attitude of a Marine, where, we kind of joke, we call them jarheads, but sometimes having a jar for a head is a good thing, because he didn't know when to quit. And, you just have that attitude. I can't die now. I don't have orders. I can't die without orders. I can't give up. Failure is not an option. And he just took that, and he made it all work. And he got into a variety of different opportunities. I met him through the Power Lead system, and that was one of the key opportunities that he used to advance with, was the Power Lead system. And he just went from being about $90,000 in debt to having that debt paid off within about a year's time. So, talking about people that can take an opportunity and just knock it out of the ballpark in short order. I mean, we're not talking about taking a business and making it profitable within the first few months. We're talking about taking a series of businesses, making those businesses profitable, and then paying off an insane level of debt, all within 12 months' time. I mean, I had my doubts when I heard that story. But I mean, it can be done. I have not experienced anything on that level, not yet. I don't want to get into that that level of debt for sure. But I've heard stories from other entrepreneurs too that have attested to the same thing. People that found themselves within a, insane amount of debt, and just through applying themselves on a consistent basis with the right attitude, with the right mindset, they worked their way out of it within a short period of time. But in Ron's case, he had a full-time job that he worked with. and he was able to live with a friend rent-free, so, I mean, that helped out too. So, a lot of other factors that came together for him to make his level of success possible. But I think the bottom line is that he had the right mindset and an insane level of energy to work with to really make that happen. But when you've got the startup capital that you can use to get into a variety of different businesses with, and when you know that you have to do it, there is no room for failure, and you just learn to think in the realm of what is possible. I mean, one of my problems has been that I would look at things and I would see the barriers that were keeping me from accomplishing something, and I would think within the realm of impossible. I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have the other thing. So I thought without those things I couldn't make it work. But then I took a look at other people like Ron and other folks similar to him, and I learned to think in the terms of what is possible. Don't look at your life, don't look at the world, and focus on what you don't have. Look at your life, look at your world, and focus on what you do have. And then use what you've got to the best of your ability to advance forward. And when you keep advancing forward steadily, one step at a time, you can go places. And you can get there fast, you can get there slow, just depending on who you are, where you're starting from, and the level of the terrain that you are trying to traverse. So, yeah, Ron was able to really knock it out of the park within a 12-month period of time, and he is just one of the top earners in the Power Lead system. Now we got another guy in the Power Lead system, and this will illustrate the other extreme. Why we say results are not typical. Your results will vary, because individual results do vary. Some people go incredibly far, and some people don't go anywhere. And other people go, let's just say that they go a reasonable distance in a reasonable length of time. But let's talk about James now. James is a guy that really didn't have a whole lot going for him. He was beginning to lose his job as a special ed teacher. He didn't really know an awful lot about finance, about business. So what he did, and he didn't have startup capital, he didn't have a steady job to really pay his bills. I mean, he was working his way, kind of downward rather than upward. And he got into a position where he didn't really feel comfortable investing a whole lot of money, which he didn't have, in businesses that he didn't know a whole lot about. So what he did is that he found opportunities that he could get into for free. And Power Lead System has a free level of membership, not the 7-day trial membership, but something called the free lead system. And that's something you can get into absolutely free. It's a system you can use to get leads. And it's a system that is set up to, if you're promoting it on a regular, consistent basis, and you bring in other people who promote it on a regular, consistent basis, then it's a system that you can use to get leads, and over time, it can go viral. And he just worked with it. And I think he took like about a year just working with the free lead system with the intention, I'm going to use this to get leads for my home-based business that I'm starting. And that's how he was planning to earn money with it. See, the free lead system, it's a good way to get leads, But as a free member, you can't earn any money off of it directly. But you can use it to promote your main business and to get leads for your main business, and then start using those leads as your warm market and just using it to build up your home-based business with. So it's a lead generating system, but it's not a commission generating system. So anyway, he learned the free lead system, absolutely free, got into it for about a year, learned how to use his link, how to market his link that you get with the free lead system, and he used free sources of advertising because, again, he wasn't kind of like Ron was. Ron knew how to take advertising systems and monetize those and really use it to promote his businesses with, as well as earn money with. Now, James was not of that mindset. I wasn't. I'm kind of in a similar boat as James, to tell the truth. But he was in the position where he would take advantage of any free advertising he could get and use it to promote his businesses with. And using free sources of advertising, he was able to promote the free lead system in such a way that he started getting leads and leads and leads. And then he noticed something was happening. There's a second tier of membership from the free lead system, and that's what they call the lead lightning system. And what James did is he noticed he was getting emails telling him, congratulations, you've got a new lead, congratulations, the free lead system is working, you got another lead today. And then he also started getting email notifications, somebody that you brought into the free lead system just upgraded to Lead Lightning, and you missed out on a $6 commission because you're not a Lead Lightning member. And he got a few emails like that. And that got him interested then in upgrading from free lead system to the Lead Lightning system. And the Lead Lightning system is like a little more jazzed up version of the free lead system. See, the free lead system is like just the bare bones. A bare bones version of the power lead system. It does not have really doesn't have very many bells and whistles at all. Not a whole lot to that program. It's just a very simple way that you can be getting leads from people who are opportunity seekers. And the Lead Lightning system is like one step up from the free lead system. Again, it is a bare bones version of the power lead system, but it's a bare bones version that you can buy into for a one-time fee of only $7. And then after that, you are then qualified to earn $6 commissions, unlimited $6 commissions. So you buy in $7 one-time fee, you earn two $6 commissions, you're in profit. It's a very simple system to get involved with. And James started noticing that he was losing commissions. So he decided to take that next step. He upgraded to the Lead Lightning level, paid his $7 one-time fee, and then he started making $6 commissions. And I'm not sure exactly how long it took him to take the next step, but he noticed that he was growing his own home-based business fairly decently, but then he noticed he was also making some pretty good commissions with the Lead Lightning system, and so that got him thinking, maybe I should take the next step up. And he was getting those email notifications, congratulations, you got a new lead, congratulations, you've got a $6 commission. And then he started getting email notifications, congratulations, one of your referrals just upgraded to gold membership in the Power Lead system, and you just missed out on a $20 commission. And again, that promoted him prompted him to promote himself and to take the next step. And he investigated what it would cost for him to join as a gold member in the Power Lead system, and that is a monthly fee, not a one-time fee, but a monthly fee of $53.97. Excuse me, $53.97. He didn't have that money up front. He'd been putting his $6 commissions into, crazy stuff like food, rent, things like that. And he borrowed the money from his mother. He told his mother what he was doing. He told his mother knew what he had been doing. And she knew he had been finding success with, his online marketing opportunities that he was in, the free lead system, the lead lightning system. And so she advanced him the money, $53.97 to get into the Power Lead system at the gold membership level. And he shares that after his first month, he had learned so much from the free lead system and the lead lightning system as far as how to promote his link, that when he did upgrade to the gold membership level of the Power Lead system, he was able to get himself into profit within that first month. And he didn't have to borrow any more money after that. And he's since been able to repay his mother that, $53.97 that got him going in the Power Lead system. But it took him about 3 years to get to that point. And now, today, again, he's one of the top earners in the Power Lead system. And so that's really listening to stories like, Ron's and James. It's really what opened my eyes to the income potential of this system and what got me involved in the Power Lead system. They've got a lot of good marketing tools that, folks like me need and can use as customers. And they also got an affiliate program that once you join as an affiliate, it just gives you a good income opportunity. Again, results are not typical. Some people will knock this out of the park within a few months. Others will take a few years. But what I love about the Power Lead system is if you cannot afford to get involved and pay a $54 a month membership fee to become an affiliate, you can start at the free level, use that free level, work with it, learn at that level, and then stair-step your way up. And once you feel confident, if the free level works for you, if you like it, keep in mind that's just the bare bones version of the Power Lead system. The actual Power Lead system itself is far superior. But yeah, once you start at the free level, you get comfortable with it, you start progressing with it, you work your way up, then you can just baby step your way upward. Start at the free level, progress up to the $7 one-time fee level, Lead Lightning, and then after that, after you've been making a few $6 commissions, after you see that, hey, this works for me, I know how to do this now, and I've got the money now. Hopefully you won't have to borrow the money from your mother, but some folks do. I had to borrow from my wife. That's a whole separate story. But anyway, yeah, once you learn how to make it work, then you can take the next step to the next level. And the gold membership level is a level that you can work with to really start generating a nice income. I am currently at the diamond level in the Power Lead system, and there are 2 other levels upward from that. And just at that level, I am thinking that this is a tool that I can use to realize my goal of earning a 6-figure income. And as a matter of fact, my key goal here is to use the Power Lead system to turn my current yearly income into a monthly income. And I used to think that talk like that was crazy. But then I sat down, started doing the math, started crunching some numbers, started to realize, okay, what you had to do to get to that destination. And I just learned to shift my mindset incredibly. I now know it is possible, it is doable, and this system is one of the tools that I'm using to make that happen. Now, all that said, the disclaimer: results are not typical. Your results will vary. Some folks will get very far, very fast. They will realize their goals, they will realize their dreams within just a few months. Other people, it will take a few years. It depends on where you're starting at, what kind of startup capital that you have. Some folks will be able to afford a $50 a month or $60 a month membership fee to buy their way into a basic program. Other folks won't. Other folks will have to start off at a free level and then find out a way to make that free level pay and then progress from there. And then other people will be able to buy in at like a $3,000 level and just start at the top and then work their way upward from there. Hopefully you don't start at the top and work your way down. That's not progress. But other folks will be able to start at the top, work their way up from there. So, yeah, results will vary because we're not all starting at the same level, with the same tools, with the same mindset. We're all different. And some folks will be equipped to make progress incredibly fast and to overcome vast obstacles and to leap tall hurdles. Other people will be on a slower trajectory. They won't have all the resources. They won't have the proper mindset, the proper attitude. And they can progress, but they'll be progressing more slowly. So to answer the question, how fast or how slow can I grow my home-based business? The answer is it depends. And I think from going over those stories and how I have grown in my own business, my own life, we can see that, there are circumstances at work that will affect how fast or how slow you go. If you get into a good, solid program right from the start and you don't make any mistakes along the way, you can make things work if you got the right startup capital. And even if you don't have the right startup capital, if you get involved in a good, solid program that has a free level of membership and then a cheap level of membership that you can advance to, and then rank advance from there, you can still, even on a shoestring budget, you can make this work. And when we started in our home-based businesses, we were on that shoestring budget. It took us a couple of years to overcome all the obstacles in our path, but we did. We overcame it, and we've advanced from there. And I've plotted out a course where I plan to advance from here to the place where I want to ultimately be within the next 12 months or so. But you just have to learn to look at where you are now, see the resources that you have, and cultivate resources within yourself. You need some financial resources to get going with, even if you're just using free stuff. You got to figure out, okay, how am I going to, put beans on the table to provide for myself and my family while I'm still working this home-based business? So even at a free starter level, you've still got to learn how to manage your income. But once you learn how to manage your income, once you learn how to budget your time and put the time put the time that your home-based business needs to grow, take that time and put it into your home-based business. And just do it consistently. Show up for work on a consistent basis. Learn as you go and grow as you go. Then you can start really at almost any level. But you also have to cultivate the right mindset. And that's really what separates a guy like Ron from a guy like James when he first started out, and a guy like me when I first started out. Ron had that do or die attitude. I'm going to make this work no matter what. And I was more or less of the mindset that, I was going to start out, try to make it work, but then when I hit a couple obstacles, that slowed me down. Other people hit a few obstacles, and to them it's like a speed bump. You hit a speed bump at 50, 60 miles an hour, and you learn to just say, "Whee! Isn't that fun?" And other people hit a speed bump, and they think it's a wall. And they slow down, they stop, they get out of the car, they check. What was that bump that I just hit? You just have to learn how to cultivate the right mindset, where you see the obstacles in life not as obstacles that are going to slow you down or stop you, but as opportunities that you can use to advance with. And once you get that mindset adopted, you can really start to go places. But we all do not start with that same mindset. But the good news is that mindset can be cultivated. And you can learn to grow with it. You can learn to adopt it. You can grow that mindset just like you can grow your material resources. And that mindset, once cultivated, can take you places. But that's where listening to motivational stories, listening to inspirational talks, listening to the stories of other people who have been in dire straits and have cultivated the right mindset to overcome those dire straits and to move forward into just incredible levels of success. You can take those stories and use those stories to cultivate your own mindset with. And so, read inspirational books, listen to inspirational talks, hang out with inspirational people, either face-to-face or online. And that will help you to develop the mindset that you need to find success with. And this isn't it's not an overnight process. It's a process that can take time. It's a process that, not everybody is going to approach. Not everybody is going to grow with at the same rate. Some folks will go places within 6 months or less. Other folks may take 2 or 3 years. Robert Kiyosaki, one of the mentors that I like to hang out with online through YouTube and audiobooks and other online resources, he recommends that you have at least a 5-year plan. So when you're opening up an online business, home-based business, have a 5-year plan. Figure out, okay, how am I going to start at this level, and then how can I work my way up, and within a period of 5 years, how can I go from point broke to point got it made? And with a 5-year plan, you develop the mindset that you are committed to this business. It's not just something that you say to yourself, I'm going to give this 30 days and see what happens. It's a mindset where you say, I'm going to give this 5 years of my life, and by God, I'm going to make it happen. And this is how I'm going to do it. And you just have to have that mindset of steady growth, determination, and the resolve that I'm going to make this work. And that's key right there. Mindset, long-term attitude, and then even if you're starting out with next to nothing, that was my starting point. Even if you're starting out with next to nothing, you can find your way to good financial growth. But give yourself time. This is not an overnight success story for the vast majority of us. These are not get-rich-quick schemes. These are workable programs, workable opportunities that can find you success, but you gotta work it. And you gotta be steady. And you gotta learn to take the stuff that life throws at you, work with it creatively, overcome the odds, and stick with it. And if you can do that, my friend, you can go places. It may take you a few months, it may take you a few years, but you can get there. And that's my bottom line. In home-based business, I've had my share of success. I've had my share of failures, too. I've had businesses that just went belly up, lost me, a few $1,000s at a point where I could not afford to take that loss. But, we had to. We did. And we figured out a way to make it work. So you just have to have the attitude, I'm going to take whatever the universe throws at me, and I'm going to work with it, and ultimately find a way to make it work out for me, for my family, and for my community. That's all we're going to talk about today. Tomorrow, let's talk about mindset. Just get into mindset. Talk about who are some of my inspirational people that I like to listen to, what I do on a day-to-day basis to cultivate my own mindset, set my resolve, and just what motivates me to keep going even during the dark times. Let's talk about that tomorrow. Mindset and motivation. And until then, you all take care. Have a great day. Have a great year 2021. This is going to be a fun year. I can tell just starting out. This first week of 2021, I think this is going to be a mind bender, but hey, let's use the stuff that this year throws with us, that this year throws at us, and use it not as, something that's going to weigh us down and hold us back, but as rocket fuel that's going to motivate us forward. And with that in mind, I'm going to leave you now with the song Universe Acceptable by Ash Gainley, and hopefully, depending on the internet, we'll see you all again tomorrow morning. Until then, God bless and take care.
Like a summer's day, you questioned life and lost your faith. You needed to believe in something that your eyes had never seen. And now you found that you can't find the answers to the questions that you had in mind. It's like a dial tone, no one's on the line, and now you're feeling so alone. Universe acceptable in your mind? Is the universe acceptable in your mind? Is the universe acceptable in your mind? Or do you need to see an explanation for the mystery? Trust your heart, it knows the way. In yourself, you need some faith. Don't listen to the crowd. No one's got this whole thing figured out. Listen to the voice inside. acceptable in your mind? Or do you need to see an explanation for the mystery? How many bright suns shine upon the lucky ones who wander? How far have we come? And will we go before we're done? Yeah, the hardest thing it seems to me is letting go of all beliefs. Is the universe acceptable in your mind? Is the universe acceptable in your mind? Is the universe acceptable in your mind? Or do you need to see an explanation for the mystery?